All right, so the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Secret societies, hidden knowledge, magic. It's like a history book collided with, well, every cool conspiracy theory you've ever heard.
And just like those theories, there's often more to uncover than meets the eye.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a group that existed for a blip in time, barely a decade and change, but their reach, their influence, it's mind-boggling.
1887 to 1903, to be exact. A short lifespan, yet they left an indelible mark on Western esotericism. Even today, their ideas echo in various magical and spiritual traditions.
Okay, so for those tuning in who might not be occult scholars, can we, rewind a bit? What exactly do we mean by occult Hermeticism anyway?
Good point. It can sound a bit like something out of, well, a secret society initiation. Essentially, it's about exploring hidden spiritual truths and the underlying principles of the universe. Think of it as a blend of ancient wisdom and Western philosophy, all geared towards understanding the nature of reality and our place within it.
Right, seeking those deeper meanings, the stuff often hidden in plain sight. But that's where it gets interesting because, from what I've read, the Golden Dawn took this pursuit very seriously, operating in secrecy, with rituals and hierarchies, the whole shebang.
Absolutely. Secrecy was paramount. They understood the power of symbols, rituals, and, let's be honest, a bit of mystique. It's what drew people in, created that sense of venturing into forbidden territory.
Okay, but forbidden territory that somehow influenced everything from Wicca to, Aleister Crowley's whole deal, that seems like a stretch. How did something so, hidden end up so influential?
That's the paradox, isn't it? They may have operated in secret, but their impact on Western thought, especially esoteric thought, is undeniable. Their practices, particularly their work with tarot, ritual magic, they became foundational for later movements. Think of them as planting seeds that blossomed in unexpected ways.
It's like that saying, big things come in small packages, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe not exactly. But still, the fact that 3 Freemasons started this whole thing, it's wild.
Their Masonic background is crucial. It's where they were first exposed to symbolism, ritual, and that idea of a lineage of hidden knowledge passed down through the ages.
It's all very Da Vinci Code, isn't it? And speaking of codes, didn't the Golden Dawn base their entire system on these mysterious cipher manuscripts? What exactly were those? Was Nicolas Cage involved?
No Nicolas Cage, I'm afraid. But you're right, the cipher manuscripts were key. Think of them as their secret playbook. They outlined the rituals, the teachings, the entire structure of the order. It's believed they contained elements of Kabbalah, astrology, alchemy, a whole smorgasbord of esoteric traditions.
A secret recipe book for enlightenment. Sign me up. But seriously, was it like one big book or a collection of scrolls, and who actually wrote them?
Now those are the million-dollar questions. The exact origins of the manuscripts are still debated, even today. Some scholars believe they were fragments of older, possibly medieval, magical texts. Others speculate they might have been created by the founders themselves, drawing on various esoteric sources.
Okay, so maybe not as old as the Dead Sea Scrolls, but still shrouded in mystery. And I can't help but notice they were pretty organized for a group of, self-proclaimed magicians, hierarchy, different levels of initiation. It all seems very structured.
They were sticklers for order, that's for sure. It mirrored their belief that spiritual development was a progressive journey. You didn't just jump to the finish line. You had to work your way up, mastering each level of knowledge and understanding.
So like a spiritual ladder, with each rung bringing you closer to, what exactly? Enlightenment, magic powers.
That depended on your perspective and your goals. For some, it was about personal transformation, deepening their connection to the divine. For others, it might have been about tapping into what they believed were real magical forces. The Golden Dawn attracted a diverse group, each with their own interpretation of what those higher realms held.
And get this, they were surprisingly progressive for their time, advocating for equal participation of women, which was practically unheard of back then, right?
Absolutely groundbreaking, especially for the Victorian era. They recognized and valued the spiritual potential in everyone, regardless of gender. And this, in turn, attracted many brilliant and influential women to their ranks.
Talk about smashing glass ceilings. Or maybe cauldrons in this case. But even with their progressive ideals, they still had this air of mystery, especially when it came to the top tier of the order, the infamous secret chiefs.
Yes, the secret chiefs. To this day, their true nature is a subject of endless debate. Were they actual beings, spiritual masters guiding the order from behind the scenes? Or were they symbolic representations of esoteric knowledge, those who had reached the pinnacle of spiritual understanding?
It's like something out of an Indiana Jones movie. Secret masters, hidden knowledge. the quest for spiritual power.
It's easy to see why the Golden Dawn still captures the imagination. They tapped into something primal, that human fascination with the unknown, the desire to pierce the veil of reality and glimpse what lies beyond.
So we've got secret codes, hidden rituals, mysterious puppet masters. It's like the Avengers of esoteric orders. But it wasn't all cloak and dagger, right? I mean, the Golden Dawn had some pretty high-profile members. W.B. Yeats, the poet, wasn't he hanging out with these guys?
He was indeed. And he wasn't alone. Maud Gonne, the Irish revolutionary, was also a member. And of course, no conversation about the Golden Dawn is complete without mentioning Aleister Crowley.
Right, Crowley, the original bad boy of the occult. Seems like he couldn't resist a good secret society, even if they eventually kicked him out. But it makes you wonder, what was it about the Golden Dawn that drew in such a diverse crowd?
It was a time of immense intellectual and spiritual ferment. The old world was giving way to the new, and people were searching for meaning, for connection, for something beyond the mundane. The Golden Dawn, with its blend of ancient wisdom and modern ideas, offered a path, a way to explore those hidden dimensions of self and reality.
So a little something for everyone. Poets, revolutionaries, magicians. Sounds like one heck of a party.
Well, I imagine the conversations were quite lively, to say the least, but it wasn't all about socializing. The Golden Dawn took their work seriously. They believed they were rediscovering a lost tradition of Western magic, a system of knowledge and practice that had been suppressed for centuries.
Okay, but even with all the secrecy and ritual, they couldn't escape good old-fashioned human drama, right? Power struggles, disagreements, maybe even a few magical duels.
There were certainly conflicts. No group, no matter how lofty its aims, is immune to human foibles. One of the biggest points of contention was the leadership of Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mathers, one of the original founders.
Mathers, right. He was kind of a big deal, wasn't he?
He was a charismatic and controversial figure. He essentially ran the show for many years, guiding the order's development and introducing new teachings.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing, was it? There were rumors of, shall we say, some authoritarian tendencies.
Let's just say Mathers had a flair for the dramatic. He claimed to be in contact with these secret chiefs, receiving instructions from them directly. But some members began to question his authority, his methods, even his sanity.
And then there was Crowley, who was never one to shy away from a confrontation, especially with authority figures.
Their clash was practically inevitable. Crowley, with his own ambitions and his growing interest in Thelema, the system he would later develop, became a thorn in Mathers' side.
And the rest, as they say, is history. Crowley gets the boot, the order splinters into different factions, and, whoa, that's it for the Golden Dawn, right?
Yep.
Lights out, everyone goes home.
Not quite. The original order might have dissolved, but their ideas, their teachings, those didn't just disappear. It's more accurate to say the Golden Dawn didn't die, it transformed. It was like a seed that scattered, taking root in different forms, different groups, each carrying on aspects of the original tradition.
So not a clean break, but more of a branching out. Like the Golden Dawn family tree suddenly got a whole lot bigger.
Exactly. Some groups remained fiercely loyal to the original teachings, emphasizing lineage and strict adherence to the rituals. They saw themselves as the true inheritors of the Golden Dawn legacy.
Okay, so you have the traditionalists, the purists, so to speak, but I imagine others wanted to shake things up a bit, blend in new ideas, create something new from the old.
Absolutely. Other groups emerged with a more eclectic approach, incorporating elements of Thelema, Kabbalah, even Eastern mystical traditions. They saw the Golden Dawn system as a starting point, a foundation upon which to build and explore new avenues of magical and spiritual practice.
It's like that saying, don't reinvent the wheel, just make it roll better, right? Or maybe that's not the best analogy. But still, all these different groups, all claiming some connection to the Golden Dawn, did any of them gain any real traction? Did any of them become as influential as the original?
That's a tricky question. Influence is a slippery thing to measure, especially when dealing with esoteric traditions. The Golden Dawn's rise coincided with a particular moment in history, a time when interest in the occult was surging. They captured that energy, that zeitgeist, in a way that's difficult to replicate.
So, lightning in a bottle?
Perhaps. But that's not to say their descendants were insignificant. Dion Fortune, for example, a prominent occultist in her own right, was heavily influenced by the Golden Dawn. She went on to found the Society of the Inner Light, which focused on a more mystical and psychologically oriented approach to magic.
And then there was Paul Foster Case, right? He was all about the tarot, wasn't he?
Yes. He founded the Builders of the Aditum, or BOTA as it's often called, which placed a strong emphasis on tarot symbolism and its use in spiritual development. So you see, the Golden Dawn's legacy wasn't just about robes and rituals. It was about ideas, about pushing the boundaries of what we think we know about ourselves and the universe.
It's like their influence rippled outward, touching on different aspects of Western esotericism. You can't really talk about modern magic or occult practices without acknowledging the Golden Dawn's fingerprints somewhere in there.
And let's not forget their impact on the arts. We talked about Yeats, but many artists and writers of the time were drawn to the Golden Dawn symbolism, their exploration of the subconscious, the power of imagination.
It's like this secret society dedicated to unveiling hidden knowledge ended up inadvertently seeding a cultural movement. Their ideas escaped the confines of the lodge and seeped into the mainstream, influencing everything from art and literature to how we understand the human psyche. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is, and it speaks to the enduring power of ideas, especially those that challenge conventional thinking and encourage us to look beyond the surface of things. The Golden Dawn might be gone, but their quest for knowledge, for meaning, for self-transformation, that's something that still resonates today.
All right, so we've talked about their impact, their influence, even their internal drama. But we can't wrap up this deep dive without talking about the rituals. That's what everyone wants to know about, right? The secret handshakes, the robes, the chanting. Were they actually summoning spirits in those dimly lit rooms? Or was it more about symbolism and psychology?
The rituals were the heart of the Golden Dawn's practice. It's where the rubber met the road, so to speak. But it's important to understand, for them, ritual wasn't about spectacle or, conjuring demons. It was a technology, a tool for inner transformation.
Technology, huh? So not just lighting candles and hoping for the best.
Not exactly. Think of it more like a sophisticated technology of consciousness. Each element of the ritual, from the words spoken to the symbols used, was designed to evoke specific states of mind, to access deeper levels of awareness.
Okay, so less about summoning storms and more about, summoning self-awareness.
Precisely. The Golden Dawn believed that true magic lay in understanding and mastering the subtle forces within ourselves. The rituals were a way to tap into those forces, to effect change not just in the external world, but within the individual.
And how did they even know what rituals to do? Was it all in those cipher manuscripts we talked about?
The manuscripts were the blueprint, the starting point. But they weren't just following a script blindly. Each symbol, each word, each gesture was infused with layers of meaning drawn from Kabbalah, astrology, Egyptian mythology. It was about actively engaging with those symbols, unlocking their power through understanding.
So each ritual was like a puzzle box, packed with hidden meanings waiting to be deciphered. Did the complexity of the rituals change as you moved up the ranks, or was it a one-size-fits-all kind of deal?
Oh, it definitely wasn't a one-size-fits-all situation. The Golden Dawn had a hierarchical structure for a reason. As members progressed through the grades, they were introduced to increasingly complex rituals, reflecting their growing understanding of esoteric principles and their capacity to work with subtler energies.
So it was a gradual unveiling of knowledge, like, you've mastered level 1, here's the cheat code for level 2.
In a way, yes. But the real cheat code was self-knowledge. The more they understood themselves, their own inner workings, the more effectively they could navigate the complexities of their rituals and harness their transformative power.
It's making a lot more sense now. They weren't just playing dress-up, they were exploring the depths of human consciousness, using ritual as a tool for personal and spiritual evolution.
Exactly. And while their methods might seem a bit out there to some, their core message, that we all possess the potential for growth and transformation, that true knowledge begins within, it's a message that still resonates today.
It does, and I think that's what's so fascinating about the Golden Dawn. They were this strange mix of tradition and innovation, secrecy and influence, drama, and ultimately a deep desire to understand the mysteries of the universe and our place within it.
Indeed. They were flawed, no doubt, but also deeply committed to their pursuit of knowledge. And they remind us that the quest for meaning, for understanding, it's an ongoing journey, one that requires us to look beyond the surface of things, to challenge our assumptions, and to embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity.
It's a journey that continues to this day, even without secret handshakes and hidden manuscripts. So to our listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive, we leave you with this. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking those hidden truths that make life so endlessly fascinating.